Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much once again for tuning in. Thank you all for returning and listening and choosing to listen to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about Joker Folie A Deux. There's a lot to say about this movie, man, and there's a lot that has been said over the past few days about the movie, man. A lot of negativity surrounding this movie. Not controversial like the first one, which is a surprise, but a lot of negativity, surprisingly, given how well the first one ended up turning out, giving Joaquin Phoenix his first Oscar, and also the movie being a low-budget R-rated film that grossed $1 billion. Now, unsurprisingly, Joaquin Phoenix is fantastic once again as Arthur Fleck, aka Joker, in Joker Folie A Deux. We get to delve a little bit more into Arthur's psyche into this movie, and unsurprisingly, as most know and are aware, we get to see him have some musical turns in this movie, which is why I feel he was fantastically paired with Lady Gaga, who plays Dr. Lee or Harleen Quinzel in this movie. Now, Gaga's Harley Quinn isn't your typical Harley Quinn, and she doesn't get a whole lot of screen time, but she does get enough screen time, and it's not diminished to where she's not in the movie enough. She's definitely in the movie enough, and I feel once again that she was paired really well with Joaquin Phoenix, and we do get to see her have some musical turns in this as well. Once again, the cinematography is excellent like it was in the 2019 film. It isn't some visual effects extravaganza like Dune or Star Wars or something like that, but it doesn't need to be. It does exactly what it needs to do in terms of cinematography, and like, again, it was in the 2019 film, it's excellent here. I personally feel like as a follow-up to the 2019 film, for those that paid attention and didn't just pay attention to the surface level themes that the movie had, I feel like the movie does follow up really well to that movie. Todd Phillips definitely knew Todd Phillips definitely knew what he was doing when he was making this movie. I did not know that this movie had a $200 million budget until recently. So I know Todd Phillips knew what he was doing when he was making the sequel to this. That all being said, there are a lot of people that have been negatively critiquing the movie because of the musical numbers that are in the movie. A lot of people were dismissing this movie early on, even before the movie came out, because once it was revealed that it was a musical, they were like, oh, I'm not going to see it. It's a musical. I want my Joker to be evil all the time. Ha, ha, ha. And I will say I can see why certain people didn't like the music in the movie, but what I was really displeased at is a lot of people were saying it as if the music overtakes the movie and overrides the story. That's completely not the case. The musical numbers, as a matter of fact, add to the story, in my opinion. You really get to see Arthur's perspective when he meets this Lee Quinzel, or as we know, our Harleen Quinzel. You really get to see his emotions come through in the musical numbers, and you really get to see Quinzel's emotion come through in the musical numbers. The music is simple, but it's beautiful and it's meaningful, and that's what I really liked about the musical numbers in the movie. I think, and this is going to start to sound like a rant at this point, but it's my video, so you can exit at any time. A lot of moviegoers are not going to see a movie for underlying themes and movies with a message. A lot of moviegoers are just going to see movies simply for escapism, and that's totally fine. As a moviegoer, you're entitled to feel that way. You're entitled to go see a movie purely for escapism and entertainment purposes only. I think when a lot of movies have a message, though, some moviegoers don't necessarily feel the message right away, and some moviegoers are mixed on how they feel about movies simply because it has something to say and isn't just, in this case, a Joker Harley film where Joker and Harley are going on a rampage all over Gotham declaring that they're looking for Batman or something like that. Because with it being a musical, I totally get why people would be initially turned off by that. And I totally get why some people think that, oh, it's a Joker and Harley movie, not Joker and Harley meets High School Musical. One of the things I liked about the first one is that I had this constant feeling of anxiety because while Arthur was becoming the Joker, you never could predict what he was gonna do next, and that added to the movie because it was pulse pounding. You were biting your nails, especially towards the end of the movie where he finally does what he does with at the Murray Franklin show. You're like, oh shit, like what is he gonna do next? And in this one, it's a little different because even though it's a musical, for me personally, I still felt that same kind of energy, that same kind of nail biting energy. Like, well, I don't know what's gonna happen next. Even though it's a little less, it's definitely a little less violent and definitely a little more contained. I feel like the main thing for this movie, as I said, is Arthur Fleck the Joker or is the Joker Arthur Fleck? And for me personally, it succeeded at what it was trying to accomplish as a movie. And I'm still thinking about the movie. I want to definitely go back and rewatch it. As it stands, I think this is my underrated movie for this year because a lot of people had just been going in on this movie like I never would have predicted. A lot of people loved the first movie. The first movie thrived off of the controversy that it had going in, but this movie just got absolutely destroyed critically, but people still turned out to see it. I'm not going to go into a whole rant about DC, what they need to do, what they should do, what they shouldn't do, the DC Elseworlds, DC Todd Phillips was going to do DC Black and all that. I'm not going to go into all that in this video. I will say I like Joker Folie A Deux. I think it achieved what it needed to. It's underrated in my opinion. I think for me, it's this year's it's my BVS Ultimate Edition for this year. I literally think it's that underrated. I think people are definitely dismissing it just because of the musical aspect, plus tied with superhero fatigue, plus movies are getting released to streaming a lot quicker these days. And two, there's this whole idea that, oh, a Joker and Harley movie needs to be about them being crazy and causing chaos all over Gotham. No, like I genuinely enjoyed this movie. I'm curious to know what people think. I'm not going to say, oh, you're going to like it just because I like that. I know that's definitely not the case. I'm just definitely curious to know what other people thought about the movie that saw the movie. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think about Joaquin and Lady Gaga's performance in this? And how do you feel about Joker Folie A Deux overall as a movie? Let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the subscribe button, share the video, and we'll see you soon.